Hello, Tarot Tube Universe. Today I am doing a VR. I am doing the VR that everyone is doing right now to Kelly Bear, 54321 Tarot. Super fun. I've been like thinking about my answers for this for a couple days now, and I finally got to a point where I'm happy-ish with what I've selected, what I've decided to do, which will forever be immortalized in my fall altar setup. But that's okay, because who doesn't love this? Like, this is my altar's time to shine. This, I wish it could look like this all year, which, I mean, it could. It's my altar. I can do what I want. But this is just, it's so warm. It's just my favorite time of year. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this, my VR being immortalized in, well, today was the harvest moon. So perfect. I'm also going to be drinking water which I'm trying to hide off camera, but I'm going for a run after I film this video, and I just realized I haven't had a drop of water today, so we are hydrating, trying. All right, let's get into it. The first question, 5 decks, and you can choose however you want to do it, 5 decks, whatever tickles your pickle. And I thought I was being really original. I decided to do the oldest 5 decks on my shelf. So not like this deck was made in 1990. No, the oldest to me. The first deck I ever bought, followed by the next 4 decks I ever bought. That being said, I have rehomed a couple of decks that would have made it into this 5 decks, but they're no longer here. Therefore, they are not going to be on this list. So some of these decks are, I mean, they're not that old. Well, you'll see. But it's definitely, I have had older decks that I got rid of, is what I'm trying to say unsuccessfully. Deck number 1, the first tarot deck I ever purchased. And if you've listened to a couple of my videos, not a surprise, it's the Wild Unknown. So what happened here? I had no desire to do tarot at all. I just got into oracle decks in the summer of 2020. I'd never even heard of an oracle. I had no idea what it was. I did know what tarot was. My sister had a deck when I was a kid, which will come into play later-ish. Oh, that sounded choppy. But I just didn't, it was a lot of learning. It was a lot of work. And I knew that it was a system that had, structure and structure. Who wants structure? Not this Aquarius. No, thank you. But I bought the Oracle deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. Why am I blanking? Is that what it's called? The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit? I think that's it. And then I found out that it had an Oracle deck or a tarot deck that kind of matched it, or the same creator did the tarot deck. I didn't have a desire to do tarot, but like I might one day. And then it was 40% off on chapters. So I got on the old tube, and that's how I discovered Tarot Tube also, by the way, fun fact. And I listened to all the reviews. I watched all the unboxings, some of them more than once. And I also was looking up if this was a good deck for beginners. And oddly enough, it was a pretty solid 50-50. You know me and my spreadsheets. Well, you might not. If not, I've got some videos. But it was a solid like 50-50 yes, no. So because it was 40% off, I was like, I'm going to do it. I have no self-control, and something was on sale. So I'm basically saving money by buying it. And it stayed in the box for a little bit. And that was the plan. That was fine. I didn't want to feel pressured into learning. I didn't want to feel pressured into opening it. But it was there. It was there for me to use and peruse and to dive into when I was ready. So I started going on Pinterest and looking up how to read tarot, how to learn tarot, Tarot 101. And it was incredibly overwhelming. Incredibly overwhelming. And this deck, if I put my 2 cents in as to whether or not it's good for beginners, I would be in the no category. So it was really overwhelming. I had no idea what I was looking at with this. I mean, some of them are okay, but what the heck? Like, I was like, pardon? What is this? So, but I still did like it. I still like the art style for sure. And I will forever keep this deck. I don't think I will purge it. I have the tin version as well. Because why not? So this was my very first deck, which I didn't really relate to. I didn't really understand. So in the old Pinterest world, in the world of the internet, they said, look, if you want to learn the tarot, this is the deck you need. And it stays in this desk here. It's the Plaidback RWS, which I think it was in some sort of order, but I messed it up looking at something the other day. So this isn't a deck I would be interested in or want to buy or anything like that. But the internet told me to. It was the one that said that this is the one you should use. So I walked into a metaphysical store and the lady asked me if I needed help. And I said, I'm looking for this deck. She showed me where it was. And then she said, oh, by the way, we are doing a intro to tarot 101 that starts on the weekend. Are you interested? And I was like, yes, I am. I just felt like it was fate that I was there buying this deck that week when that was going on. While I was flipping through here, I realized I forgot to mention my RWS was purchased in October of 2020. Now you all know how much of a noob I am. Not that I'm not open about it, but whatever. So this was my second deck, and this was purchased in November of 2020. And it's just, I don't really use it too much. It sits, as I said, in one of the little nooks in my secretary desk, and it's my reference in case I ever, I don't know, blank on what the original 9 of, I don't know, pentacles looks like or whatever. I just reach in and grab it. And that's why it was in order, but I forgot it was in order and then I messed it up. So that was my November 2020 deck. The next oldest deck on my shelf is the Robin Wood Tarot. This deck I obtained somewhere between November of 2020 and February of 2021. Very Celtic vibes. The reason I purchased this deck, get your shit together, Sarah, right side up, was because I didn't like the RWS. I didn't like the art. I didn't like the lines. The Wild Unknown was way over my head. This seemed more in line with a learning deck, and it seemed very similar to the RWS, similar enough, and I just liked it better. This was before I realized the world of tarot decks. Like I knew there was options, obviously. The RW or the Wild Unknown was my first deck ever. But I didn't know. I didn't know. Oh God, this is what started it all. So this deck, it was going to be my learning buddy. It was going to be my learning BFF. And it kind of was for a little bit. I like that the suits are all very, well, that's a major, but they're color coded in the background. I don't know. I liked it better. Okay. And I played around with it. I was trying to learn with it. And then I did a reading with it. I did a couple readings with it, and it was not it. It was not working out for me. So unfortunately, it's just been kind of sitting for a while. And it was in my purgatory drawer for a bit. And then I took it out because I don't know. I think I will use it. I think I will be a little more into it. Not at the moment, but I don't know. I don't think my time with it is done. Plus, it has a dreamboat of a magician. Like, look at that man. Dream boat. So I'm keeping it. Yeah, not bad. So anyway, that's deck number 3, somewhere after 2020, but before February 2021. The next 2 are, I mean, they're not exciting. None of the decks in this category are exciting. But I just thought it was a fun category to choose because it would be so different. Like if everyone did their 5 oldest decks, idea for a VR perhaps, everybody's would be so different. The next one, purchased in February of 2021, is the Light Seers. This is kind of what started everything as far as my deck purchasing goes. I recently edged it, not too shabby. Everybody knows this deck. Everyone knows it. We all know it. God, those edges though, they really go, especially with that Hermit card. This is just, I don't know. Everyone loves to hate this deck. Or you love it or you hate it. I thought about getting the tin version. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I do think this would be a good deck to travel with. I think it's versatile depending on where you're traveling to. Like, obviously I wouldn't take this if I was traveling to like Alaska in the winter or something. But I don't know, I'm a sucker for a tin deck, so there's that. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say about this deck. So Lightseers was February 2021. It is my 4th oldest deck and the last oldest deck. Also, nothing crazy. Well, I actually kind of think it is a little crazy because I never would have said this would be in this category. But it's the Dark Mansion Tarot. And at the time, and for a while afterwards, this was the most expensive deck on my shelf. And I had some thoughts. I had some anxiety about purchasing it for that reason, especially because it doesn't come with a guidebook. So you're spending so much money on a deck and you're not even getting a guidebook. Ridiculous. Not sure that I would do that again. But this was also February 2021. The rose petal finish, we all know that, like, is that 2 cards? I think that's 2 cards. Oh my gosh, it is. This deck, man, this cardstock, I love to feel it. Don't get me wrong. I'm the person, I love to feel things. I love soft things. So I do like it, but for this purpose, is that also 2 cards? No? Question mark? Anyway. This time of year is also this deck's time to shine. That's 2. There are times when I think about putting this in purgatory that I'm like, no. It's a fun deck and it's good this time of year. It's got them Tim Burton vibes that everybody talks about with this deck, those itty bitty necks. Some people hate that. I don't know. I don't mind it. One of my favorite stars is in this deck too. I'm not even going to try to find it because just doing this is not possible. This is a great one. So February 2021, that's the 5th deck. I don't know if you ever, like, when you're filming a video, if you ever feel like it's just gone off the rails for no particular reason. It's just not your best work. That's how I'm feeling about this. I think it's my 3rd time I've tried to film it, and for no particular reason either. Next category, 4, books. So I have a problem. I can't remember if she said it had to be tarot related or not. So I'm going to do this one first in case it is supposed to be tarot related. So maybe this is breaking the rules. I don't know. But the cute little Lenormand. The reason this book is on here is because it's been a book that I have been reading lately. I've been working with the Lenormand lately. So it's just on my mind. The cards come in a little crappy envelope at the back, which has caused the book to like bow and make me feel rage. But you've got this page, which is like the little synopses. Then you get the cards, which talk about the key themes, the overview, reading the card. And then some cards have an extra little blurb, not all. And then it has sister cards, positive combination, negative combinations. And then, which I have not got to this part yet, it talks about, oh my God, a piece of tape just fell off my wall and scared me. The spreads, the card, like putting the cards together. And then obviously you get more and more and more. There's your 9, which I've not even got to this part yet. Another reason why I wanted to discuss this book today is because it's going out of print. I think Rose Honey Ritual posted on her Instagram story from the creator, who was told it's going out of print. So she's upset about it. The creator's upset about it. I'm upset about it because I think it's awesome. So if you want to get your hands on it, now is the time. Book number 1. Book number 2. Okay, this one's weird. And I haven't read it. Tarot cards. It came with a deck. It was a Marseille deck that my sister owned when I was a kid. I think I hear an ice cream truck. And I've wanted to read it so badly. It's by, oh my gosh, what is her name? I can't think of it at the moment. Like, it's so funny. Jane Lyle. And that's the publisher, L&D. And it was originally published in a slightly different format under the title Tarot, even more general, in 1990. So there's your contents. This is a book I've been wanting to read it for a really long time. I actually think I started. Can't remember at all what it talked about. So I'll have to start over again. So obviously we go into some myths and symbols, super cool. So there's the Marseille one and there's the RWS. I don't even know if I'm in for Rame. And then it's really cool. It starts to, at some point, here we go. So some of them have references. Lovers, hermit, justice. I mean, it's not hard to find these things in art, to find things that replicate these archetypes. Wheel of Fortune. I'm losing my light here. Hanged Man. The Tree of Life. The Tower. I'm not sure why these are just here. Fool. I wish it would kind of talk about like why they put these pictures in here. I'm getting distracted. Anyway, yes, I want to read it. So that was on the world. Okay, so now we're in the minor arcana. It's talking about the different suits. Now we're talking about all the cards. Oh, we've got more. A section of cards from the Marseille deck. A 19th century Italian tarocchi tarot cards. So it actually seems like it would be really cool to read, and for that reason, I want to read it. I did look this book up before filming. I looked it up this afternoon. Oh, it's all, okay, it gives you all the 10s in one. It's super easy to get your hands on. You can find it on eBay, and it's not expensive. I kind of thought maybe I had some sort of rare out of print thing. No, I don't. So if you're interested in this, it is easy to find and it's cheap. The 6-month special. Oh gosh, okay. Next. This one's on the list because I'm reading it right now. Phantasmagoria. I want to work with this deck, but this is kind of like the wild unknown for me. It is a little over my head. This deck being the Tarot of Vampires by... Does Ian Daniels do the deck as well? I don't even have it on me. I can't even compare it. So this is where I'm at. It's taking me a really long time to read it. Where am I? Card spreads and exercises. I've heard nothing but excellent things about this book, so I've made it my goal to read it and work with the deck. So that is book number 2 out of 4. Not going to say too much about it. Again, it's been talked about. It's been discussed. Book number 3. No, 4, because we did the cute little Lenormand. Wow, okay, we're on my last book. This is book number 4. The Moonology book by Yasmin Boland. Can I get more light in here? Let's try. So this book is super handy. I use it, as you can see. My tags say new moon in each house, full moon ceremony. I don't really use that anymore. Full moon in this sign, new moon in each sign, and daily moon. So for example, we had our harvest full moon today, just super moon. Oh, that scared me. I thought that was a real candle. Last super moon of the year. So full moon or lunar eclipse in Aries. So it's every time. there's a full moon in Aries, you would reference this page. This energy is fiery and rash. Top 5 questions. Have I been hot-headed, selfish, or argumentative this month? Have I been going too fast or being impulsive this month? Have I been brash, blunt, or too competitive? Have I ignored other people's finer sensitivity or sensibilities? Have I had enough fun? Message: life isn't a race or a competition. Find balance between your needs and those of your significant other or best friends. Forgive. Perform a full moon forgiveness ceremony. I think it says that under everyone. Be grateful. So I really like to reference this for the different full moons and new moons, and then the daily ones. I mean, it's in Aries today because we just had our full moon, as I said, but daily moon in Aries. Emotions can run high when the moon is in Aries. After all, Aries is ruled by the angry war planet Mars. So be careful if you're very moon tuned and find yourself in the middle of an argument. Take a few deep breaths and remind yourself that the Aries moon is no excuse to lose your hard-earned cool. It's far better to use the Aries energy to get things done. Aries moon days are filled with impulsive energy, and it's easy to feel quite driven. We may as well channel that energy into something constructive, right? It's also a time when enthusiasm flows. Try not to take offense too easily today. This is also a seriously good day for meditation, as we all need that extra injection of zen when the moon is in Aries. Good for racing through the day, not so good for quiet introspection. Do go faster, don't pick a fight. So I just like that there's a daily moon in each sign. So if I'm wanting to look up what lunar energies are going on today, that's the book I'm going to go to. So, and I do tend to reference it for the full moons and the new moons. I also, who remembers Anne Geddes? God, she had a moment. I also use the diary. I usually get one every year, and I don't know if I'm going to get one for 2024. I think I will. I say that every year. I don't know if that's the one I'm going to use, and it's always the one I use. I also, here it is right here. So it's a little more specific. It's an agenda, so it didn't really make it to the book category. I also have her oracle cards that I use to reference the moon, mostly just the new and full. So yeah, big moon guy over here, apparently. So remember that time I said I felt like this video wasn't my best work? Turns out it's because it's not. I forgot category or number 3, which is spreads. That's why it looks so much darker and it's all out of order. Oh, my Atlanta. Spreads. So I have a before bed spread because I'm one of those people that forgets to do daily draws in the morning, like daily energy readings, what energy to look out for, blah, blah, blah. So this one comes in really handy for me because I can do it before bed and still get my card reading in. Like if I'm sitting in bed like watching TV and I'm like, I didn't do my card spread for today. This one comes in handy. So because it's dark, I'll read it to you. Reflect on a positive of the day, reflect on a challenge of the day, and ask how to use those reflections to help you grow. The name of this person who did this is up here. I can't read it. The last word is Maya. It's at something Maya, M-A-Y-A. So I'm really sorry I can't give proper credit. But that's that. The next one that I like to use, and if I was smart, I would have found this before filming, but I'm not smart, is in the guidebook for the Gilded Tarot Royale. And it's a good daily one that I like on those days when I do remember to pull cards during the day. It's called the Daily Spread. It's on page 205. So that's your layout. And unfortunately, the instructions are on the next page for it. I wish that was not the case, but so our 5 categories are works, home, unexpected, your role, and outcome. So works, it pertains to things that you accomplish in a day, whether a job or personal tasks. Home reflects people and activities connected with your home and home life. Unexpected, it indicates surprises and unexpected events. Your role represents your mood, actions, or reactions to events and people that fill your day, and the outcome shows the outcome of the day, often predicts a lesson learned or a spiritual revelation. So that's in the Gilded Tarot Royale guidebook. And next, watch your eyes because it's about to get bright in here. So Pinterest has, I found a lot of these. It's by Moon Mama Oracle. She has several of them, and it's these story spreads. I have so much fun with these. I will do these when I find I want to use my tarot cards, but I don't really feel like I don't have anything to ask. I don't feel like getting too deep. I just kind of want to play with my cards. So it just gets you to do a story. It tells you a story. And there's several of these to choose from. I picked this one for the purpose of this video. This is probably one of my favorites. So first card, a card to represent the main character. Then you elaborate on that. Then you get a card to represent the setting. So pull as many as you need for this one. Then how will the story begin? Then what won't the reader see? How is the main character going to get out of the twist? Does this end happily ever after? Or, so it's super funny. I'm pretty sure this is the one I was doing in bed one night. And I can't remember what spread. Again, my last question, the question with the one, lessons learned. I didn't write it down, so it's not something I can recall quickly, but the Empress came up and I honestly gasped. I was like, she's pregnant. Like, I had this whole story in my head going because of this. And it's just, I know this is kind of technically cheating, but there are other ones. Like if that's not your jam, if that's not what you're feeling, there's a fairy tale one. There's also a romance story one. It's all by Moon Mama Oracle. I feel like there's several other ones. Look, tell me you have a problem without telling me you have a problem. These are all my spreads. I feel like there's several other ones, but I think I saved them too far back because I went looking for them for the video, and I can't find them because there was definitely more than just those three, I thought anyway. Well, actually, here's what we'll do. We'll do what Pinterest is supposed to do. We'll click on it, and then we'll see what similar ones come up underneath it. How about that? It's probably maybe the ones I already showed you. Here's a children's story spread. We are really losing our light here. But yes, I think that these are so much fun and they're so easy, and it's especially if you're learning, I feel like this is a fantastic activity to do if you're new to tarot and you're learning. So great. But I would definitely recommend writing it down because I think it would be so fun to go back and read it. I think it would be hilarious. Okay, now let's continue with the brighter portion of the video. 2. We're down to 2. Habits or paraphernalia. So I can do a habit and a paraphernalia, or 2 habits and 2 paraphernalia. I'm just going to do 2 habits. I need an example. Oh, I'm not using the Dark Mansion Tarot, that's for sure. Let's use our Dreamboat Robin Wood. So this was something that I just discovered. Well, I didn't discover it. I've always kind of known it, but I wasn't sure if it's weird or not. So let's say I do a spread, or I do a reading. Okay, I figured it out. When I go to put these cards back, I cannot just put them back like this. I can't. Like, to me, that is the dumbest thing I could do, because I would be terrified that the next reading wouldn't get shuffled enough and like 3 of those 5 cards would be stuck together and it would just ruin the reading. The reading wouldn't be accurate. So what I do is I put one away. Thank you for your service. Next. Thank you for your service. Next. Thank you for your service. Next. Thank you for your service. Last. Thank you for your service. It kind of makes putting decks away a little bit of a lengthy process, but I want to know, how do you guys put your cards away? It's not really something I've thought about before until a few days ago. So if you do the same thing, please tell me. would make me feel so much better. The other habit I have is using room sprays. So I keep one in my desk. So this is the one that gets the most use right now because it's right here in my reading space. Sage spray. So I just spritz it once kind of in the air above me so I can kind of feel it sprinkle. I'm doing like the motion above the camera, like you can see it. So I can feel it sprinkling down on myself. So we have this one, white sage, cedar, and rosemary. The price is on it. These are not cheap. That's Canadian. The one that gets the next amount of use is this one, Wicked Good, sage and rosemary. Let me tell you, this smells fantastic. This one was $18.50. Oh my God. I love it. So this one stays on my nightstand. This one stays in this desk. This one stays on the nightstand. This one goes in my travel bag. This was in a monthly box from Goddess Provisions. This one also smells really good. This is the October Occult. It's called the Star Clairvoyance Mist. This smells really good too. Ingredients: rose quartz crystal infused full moon water. Wow. Neroli, orange blossom, jasmine flowers, and sandalwood. I'm not going to spray it because I just sprayed the other one, but this one smells, it's more floral and very sweet. It smells really good as well, but because it's tiny, it stays in my travel bag. And then next I have the Wicked Good again, Money Draw. Also $18.50. This one smells really good as well. This one is more, I don't know. I would say this one's more like seductive and sultry smelling. But this is if I'm wanting to attract more money to myself. Like if I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket for my lottery group, I might give this a little spritz. If I'm going to go check those lottery tickets, give it a little spritz. So that's my 2 habits, is the weird reshuffling back into the deck and my room sprays. We're going to leave these here because the next question I have nothing to show for. The last question is one piece of advice or a card you would like to embody. I'm going to go with a piece of advice. This is something I've learned the hard way repeatedly, and it is to journal everything. Every card spread you do. Even like my biggest thing with this is sometimes it'll be nighttime and I'm just playing around and I just like I'm just going to ask this question, and I do a card pull and then I don't journal it because I was just playing around. It's not a big deal. And then several days will go by and then I'll be like, wait, something will trigger it, and it would be like, what was that reading again? What did that card say? And I won't remember. Journal everything. Also, I would like that. It doesn't just go for readings. Like journal when you bought certain tarot decks and how much you paid for them, because me going through and trying to find when I bought those first 5 decks that I showed, that was not fun. I had to go through my email to find it. I knew an approximate date. I knew it would be like the first one would be end-ish of 2020, but yeah, just journal everything. It's also kind of interesting to know how much you paid for it versus how much it's worth now. I think that's a really cool thing to be able to look back at. But yeah, journal everything. Journal your decks. Journal every card pull, even if it's something stupid and small. Because I have learned the hard way multiple times that you are going to want something's going to happen, something's going to come up, and you're going to be like, what was that again? What was the question I asked? The question was something along those lines, and then this card came up, or vice versa. I asked this question, but I can't remember what cards came up. Trust me, journal. That is my piece of advice. That is my 5, 4. I'm doing it backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm like, forget it. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tarot. I'm going to go for my run and probably dehydrate myself. Have a nice night.